Okay, so why do I need a power of attorney? None of us want to become incapacitated, right? Like that's just not in our plan for life. But what happens if you're in a car wreck? Who's going to pay your bills? Who's going to have your car towed or get it out of the tow yard? What about insurance? All those different kinds of things. Do you have some loved one in the military? What if they're overseas and, the spouse who's at home needs to sell the house, something like that? Well, they can't without that power of attorney in place. Is anybody planning on having a stroke next week? You don't plan for those kinds of things, right? Sometimes you can plan for Alzheimer's or dementia. Sometimes it comes on very suddenly. So really a power of attorney is a document that you need to have in place just in case. I tell my clients that it's a really good insurance policy. You hope you never have to use it, but it's something that you get in place, you put on the shelf, and if you need it, it's there. So, okay, are we ready for the next one? All right, so who am I going to name as my agent under my power of attorney? Well, they have to be of legal age, right? Over in Missouri, legal age is 18, so you certainly want to name someone that's an adult. It should be someone that you trust. I frequently have clients tell me, well, I'm going to name my oldest child because they're my oldest and I don't want to hurt their feelings, but they're not very financially responsible. And I'm like, whoa, that's a terrible idea, right? If you don't trust them with your money, don't put them on your power of attorney. Like that's just not even logical. So it should be someone that you trust, someone that's responsible, that's going to take care of you and manage your assets and medical decisions for you. You can name multiple people. So for instance, on my dad's power of attorney, he named my brother and I, and we have to act together. We have to act what's called jointly. A lot of times people will name two kids and they can act either or, which in Missouri is called jointly or severally. So you can make your kids get along, or you can make it to where it's either or if they're both very trustworthy. I always also encourage people to name a successor agent. So when my mom was alive, my dad named my mom first, and then if she was not available, then it dropped down to my brother and I. And that's pretty common. Most people name their spouse as the first person to act on their behalf. And then if the spouse for some reason is not available, then it goes down to kids or grandkids or whoever is the next responsible party. So you can name multiple people. I always encourage people, again, to do that backup just in case something happens. For instance, you name you name one kid first and then a second kid. Well, what if this one's on vacation and can't act for you? Then you certainly have that second person there and available for you. So what happens if I don't have a power of attorney in place? I'm incapacitated, can't take care of myself, all those kinds of things. Okay, I'm going to pause for just a moment. Does the spouse automatically have power of attorney? No, they don't. Now, I will tell you, if a bank account is jointly owned, the spouse obviously has control as a joint owner, but that's different than a power of attorney. So, for instance, if your spouse wanted to call and get information on a pension or your life insurance or something like that, that company will not talk to that spouse because the spouse is not the owner, right? The owner is the owner, and the company will only talk to the owner. They will not talk to anybody else without a power of attorney. So it's not automatic between spouses. Same thing with medical. You would think, this is my spouse, they're going to make my medical decisions, right? Not always the case. There's a lot that goes into that. And if it's a blended family, you've got spouse and you've got kids. Who is the doctor supposed to listen to? It can cause a lot of issues. So that there's a lot to take into consideration.